Hi honeys, welcome back to another episode of Girl, Do It For You. So, honestly, I wasn't even sure if there was going to be an episode this week because I have been really sick lately. I have a sinus infection and it's kind of kicking my ass if I'm being honest with you, but we're good. We went to the doctor today, we got antibiotics and we are on the mend. So, without further ado, here's this week's episode. Okay, so I really want to talk about being in your 20s because that's what this is all about, right? I read a quote the other day, or actually my friend sent me this quote. She labeled her 20s as the panic years. And I kind of get it. Because realistically, let's say you're panicking about everything, right? She said you're panicking about the panic to be perfect, to have everything figured out, but to also still be living up in your 20s because you're only 21s, right? And it's it's hard. The stereotype of being in your 20s is just insane. I actually have a quote over here on the wall on my mood board or my vision board for this year. It says in your 20s, and it's in your 20s, live your life. But it's you want to live your life to the fullest. You want to travel, you want to do all of the things. You can be dumb and stupid and make mistakes, and that is the years for it because you're 20 and it doesn't matter and nobody really expects anything of you. And then on the other hand, it's you have other people that are oh well, in your 20s you should be working, get your head down, work your way up the ladder, do all you have to do, go to school, buy a house, have a family, get married, do all of this stuff. And I'm how do you find a happy middle, or how do you find your own path and what that looks like for you, and what just genuinely what? And it stresses me out to even be in my 20s. I'm only 24 and it stresses me out to even be that young because I feel people are you're either people expect so much of you or they expect nothing. And I'm can we find a happy medium of where I can do whatever the hell I want and live my life? I just feel the constant back and forth. It's either live your life, be reckless, be stupid, travel, this, that, and the other, or settle down and buy a house, or get a corporate job, or get a good stable job, and this is your time, put your money in your retirement. And I'm my retirement, and it's you have to think about your future. And I'm I'm 24. How about the money that I have coming in? Can I use it now? I feel in today's day and age too, it's oh, well, I try, you compare yourself to others and you're how come they have a house and I don't, and we're the same age, or they're even younger than me? And it's okay, well, they bought it at a different time. The market is crazy right now. They bought when it was good, and or they have a different job for me and they make a lot of money. And I'm just the idea of comparing to other people is just ridiculous and it's out of control, but we all do it. We're all guilty of it. And as much as you try not to compare, you're gonna compare. You're gonna do it. But it's it's so stressful because I feel people either expect you to have your life figured out and together and all of this stuff, and I'm I don't even know what I'm doing. The most stable, secure thing in my life is the fact that I'm getting married. I have no idea what my plans are for anything in the future. So I'm how do people just genuinely sit down and come up with this whole plan of what they're going to do and what they're going to be, and then just do it, and in their 20s figure it out? And everyone says your 20s is the years to figure yourself out, and I'm I'm confused. What are we figuring out? Because I haven't figured out a damn thing in my 20s. Granted, I'm only 24, but anybody else lost? I just don't understand where we're figuring life out. I don't understand where people I guess it also goes with the saying of just how people pick a career and roll with it. And I'm again, I have no idea what I'm doing, ever. I don't know. I feel half the time I don't have my life together, and then sometimes I feel I have my life together, and then sometimes I'm I don't know what I'm doing. I being the reckless 24-year-old that can do whatever the hell she wants, whenever the hell she wants, and, I don't fully have my life together. But I think it kind of comes in handy in certain situations. I don't have kids, so I can up and do whatever I want. I can travel wherever. I have dogs. That's the most I have to worry about. But like, drop them off at my parents' house, Matthew's parents' house, my best friend, you know, anybody, and they'll watch them. It's not like kids. And I can go to the bar and do whatever I want at reckless hours because I don't have kids. I don't have any responsibility or like that. And it's like, I don't own a house, so like I don't have to worry about like the back garden and how people are always like, oh, I have to go spend all this money on a lawnmower, and I'm like, have I don't know, I don't even know if this is making any sense. Am I in Delulu land? Probably. But like, I don't know, I just feel like your 20s is so confusing, and I am mega confused. So I don't know how people figure their shit out and end up with like career jobs in their 20s and have their shit figured out and like got their degree and are going with it, and they're like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I'm like, I mean, that's amazing and I'm proud of you, but what? Like, what the what? And it's the same with people that like, you know, people that have kids already. I'm like, I am not responsible enough for another human being's life. No. Just no. Like, I could not have a child right now. I am so reckless, and I don't even know, like, I freak out about my dogs half the time and they're usually fine, but like, I don't want to have to keep another human being alive. Like, I forget to feed myself sometimes, so I don't understand how you want me to have a child. But then it's also like the pressure of people, because like we're getting married and people are like, so when are the kids coming? And I'm like, we're not married. And just the idea that for a woman's life, it's she gets her career, she gets married, she has kids, and that's it, and then she's a mum. And I'm like, I'm not ready for the identity of Ashlea to be given up yet. I'm not ready for that identity to change to mum and only mum. You know, like once you become a mum, that's kind of it. And I'm not ready for that. I am ready for to be a wife, and then I'm going to be a wife and figure that out. And I'm just really tired of people telling me like, oh, well, your clock's ticking, and oh, well, you know, if only I knew what I knew at 24, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm not some dumb child. Like, I do know, you know, my clock's ticking and all of the other things and fertility and just all of the things that come with it. But I'm also like being responsible. I'm being proactive. I'm taking the steps that I need to take. But like, I don't want a child right now. And like, I've had conversations with people that are like, oh, I think it's great, have a child in your 20s and then you're free in like your 40s. And I'm like, I don't look at it like that, and I don't want that. No, I don't want a child right now. Like, that's not what I want. Like, I don't know, 20s are so confusing. And then you look at people that you go to high school with or that you're friends with or just anybody your age, and your lives are so vastly different. It's scary how different people's lives are my age. Like, most of my friends are not, like, we're not on the same path at all. Like, and I think that's also really beautiful, but it's also just like confusing, because then it's like, well, am I supposed to be where they are? Am I doing something wrong? How come I don't have that part of my life figured out? And oh, well, they do that in their life. And it's just like, oh my god, there's so much expectations for your 20s, and I hate it, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, to be honest with you. But it's like, it's literally the panic years, like what that quote said, because you literally panic about everything. Like, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? Should I be perfect for, like, should I have the perfect example of I'm getting married, then I'll have kids and my career and this, that, and the other? And I'm like, that's just not where I am in life right now. Like, at all. But, like, I'm panicking for all of it. Also, just every aspect of my life is stressful. Like, is that normal? Like, I stress about everything. It's probably not normal. But, like, everything is just like, here's this, okay, here's this, okay, here's this, okay. And I'm like, can we not? I also feel like one of the things about being 20 is like, you're trying to please everyone else, and you're trying to make everyone happy because, you know, you're on your own, you moved out, so you're trying to make your parents proud, you're trying to get a good job, to like support yourself, again, probably make your parents proud or make your significant other proud or whatever it is. And then it's like, well, then you move out, but then you want to visit your family because they're aging, they're getting older, you want to make sure you spend time with them. Don't forget about the grandparents. You have to go spend quality time with the grandparents, and the pressure of just like, oh, well, I have to go visit so-and-so. Oh, but then I also work full-time. Oh, well, then I have like a house and responsibilities and a dog and you know, then I want to go live my life and like, oh, well, I want to go out this night. And then, oh, well, I said I was going to go see so-and-so. And it's like the fear of having to do all of that is just like terrifying because you have to, oh, well, you know, your grandparents are getting older. We should go visit. Yep. Well, parents have to visit parents too. And, oh, well, I have to work. Oh, but I want to live my life. And then you're like, I want to travel. I want this. And it's just, there is too much that you're supposed to be doing in your 20s, and I'm just like, is anybody gonna put like a stop on it and just let us chill for 5 seconds and then we can come back to the subject, you know? Like, it's insane what's expected of you in your 20s, like, and I feel like you either, like, parents kind of describe you in one or two ways. Like, you're never gonna be, like, you're either going to be the responsible one, you've got your career figured out, she's very career driven, she's got her life together, she's getting married, or she's got a child, you know, she's settling down, or she's a wild party animal and crazy. Like, I feel like there's not a balance and you can't be both, you know? Like, I feel like that's how it's divided up, even though I would say I'm a little bit of both, like, because, like, I go out, I do what I want to do, but I have a good job, I have a good career, I have my own place, I'm getting married, but like I go to the bars and like I go out with my friends and we do all the things. Like, we're literally going away this weekend for my best friend's birthday, so it's like we do things, and like I still have girls' night even though I'm getting, like, I have a fiance. But it's like your paths are just so different in your 20s and it's so confusing. And then also with the up-to-date trends, you have to keep up with those, let's not forget. And like being in the industry that I'm in, like, oh well, we have to keep up with those social media threads. They just came out with threads. What the hell is that? It's like Twitter times 2. Like, I'm so confused. We have to keep up with all of the apps: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, Threads. And then it's like, oh well, this is what's popular now, so you have to do it. And then if you don't do it, you don't get your little 5-minute fame or popularity. And then there's not another trend. And then you get, it is just insane. And it's also just like everything is so like wishy-washy and changing every 5 seconds. Like how we went, like, I think I've talked about this before, but makeup trends and how we went from heavy makeup and hair overly styled to the clean girl aesthetic of like just a little bit of makeup and the slick back buns that make me look like Gru from Despicable Me, like, or Edna, you know, the Bob from Incredibles. And I reference her when, like, having a bad day or whatever. And you know how in Incredible where she's like, pull yourself together. Yeah, that was a terrible Edna accent, but that's my vibe sometimes. It's like, pull yourself together. Yes, that's how I feel about Edna. Or when she's like shaking. Yeah, so many different things I relate to The Incredibles in my life, and it's kind of funny because I never thought I would. Also, my best friend, we nicknamed her Jack Jack from The Incredibles. So I guess my whole life is just, if only I could be Elastigirl. If only that was like real. I don't know where this is going. Oh God, I've got squirrel brains sometimes. But I don't know, it's just so many other things that I can't, like, there's so many high expectations, or there's like nothing, they expect nothing of you. And I don't know how to find a happy medium. I don't know how to be in the middle. I don't know what I'm doing. So if someone could figure that out and give me a phone number, thanks so much, appreciate it. Like, but I mean, basically that was like the whole point. It's just like your 20s are literally the panic years. Like, that girl hit the head on the nail. Like, you're freaking out about not being good enough for certain things. You're questioning your career sometimes. Your friends are settling down and you're confused about it. Or you're settling down and they're out living their best life and you're like, am I doing the right thing? Or people have their career figured out and you're questioning and doing everything while trying to maintain a social life, the social trends, fashion, your family, your friends, your work, your sleep schedule for everything good. Like, I don't know how people do all of it because they must function on no sleep, and that's not me. I'm not that girly at all. I take melatonin and I'm asleep. I'm a grandma. But recently, my fiance looked at me the other day and I've been talking about starting a business. And he's like, you know, you're going to need to sacrifice your sleep at some point. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's okay because it'll be worth it in the end. But it's just like, There's so many things, and it's just, and then like I think about like starting a business and I'm like, is that a bad idea? Probably, because I have no idea what I'm doing half the time, but I'm gonna try. Is it gonna flop? Well, we don't know, but it's like you never. And then it's also like when you're in your 20s, they tell you to pursue your dreams and any career aspirations. And then they say, look at so and so, they didn't make it big until they were 30, or their first movie wasn't until they were 45, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but what am I supposed to do right now? Because I'm confused as hell. I'm not understanding. But I don't know. That was just a little mini episode this week because the sinus infection is kicking my butt, and I really just wanted to talk about this with you guys and like chit chat. So sorry that my brain kind of went all over the place, but that's kind of just how I feel. Like, and especially like the past couple of weeks, I've just been thinking about it a lot, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I have no idea. And I feel like I'm not the only 20-something-year-old that's trying to figure that out. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm halfway through my 20s and I am done with this shit. Like, I'm over it. Like, someone give me the handbook, please, because I have no idea anymore. But you guys should let me know for sure. If I just feel like this by myself, am I delulu? Like, is this just me being crazy? Or, like, is this a normal feeling? Like, I don't know. Does anyone else feel the same? Like, am I losing it? Could be. Fair point. I'll take it. It's fine. Let me know either way. You know, I would love the feedback. But thank you guys for listening to another episode, and I'll see you guys next Friday as always. I love you, honeys. Bye.